The sand cable stitch creates a graceful pattern that resembles a beach landscape. Hi, I'm Kristen and welcome back to my channel, Studio Knit. On a smooth stockinette fabric, it results in a soft piece with wavy edges, and it's reminiscent of your favorite seaside retreat. I'm sharing instructions on how to knit flat on straight needles, as well as in the round on circular needles. This is not a reversible pattern because the right side of our work displays the design. However, the back side of our work does not. I think here in the blue color, it also looks a lot like ocean waves. If you have project ideas for this sand cable stitch, please share them in the comments below, and please like up this video to let me know you'd like to see more videos like this. For our knitting supplies, you can use any yarn of your choice with appropriately sized knitting needles. We also have scissors and a tapestry needle on hand, as well as a cable needle. You can buy a specific cable needle, or you can just use a double pointed needle like I am right here, and I painted one tip with nail polish, and it's held up really great throughout the years. We're beginning by casting on in multiples of 12 stitches. So we're adding 12 stitches to our needle, and then depending on the length of the piece you'd like to knit up, continue adding additional multiples of 12 stitches. For my swatch, I have 3 multiples of 12, which makes 36 stitches. As always, the written pattern instructions are available totally for free over on my website, Studio Knit. The written row by row instructions also include a knitting chart. If you enjoy knitting from a chart, you can see it's really quite simple. So let's knit it up. Rows 1, 2, 3, and 4. Rows 1 through 4 are the stockinette stitch. If you are watching a cable stitch video, you are likely very familiar with knitting and purling. So on the right side, row 1, we're knitting. On the wrong side, row 2, it's purls, purling all the way down the row. Again, row 3, that is our right side, so we're knitting all the way down the row. And lastly, row 4 on the wrong side, purling all stitches. And here's where the fun begins. On row 5, it's a 3-3R cable stitch that we begin with. That's a right crossing cable stitch. So we are slipping 3 stitches, that's purlwise, onto our cable needle. And then I slide it down to the tip where we'll be knitting it from. But first we're holding it to the back. And we begin with knitting 3 stitches from our main needle while that cable needle is being held to the back. And I want to show you here the yarn goes between the cable and the main needle. And then we're knitting 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3 from the main needle. Now we'll let go of the needle in our left hand and get the cable needle in a position that is easiest for you to knit from, and then knit 3 stitches from your cable needle. And you'll see why I painted it pink. It's really helpful to differentiate the main and the cable needle for you here in this video. And then between the 2 asterisks, you'll see that there's also a K6, and that means that we are knitting 6 stitches after we complete that 3-3R cable stitch. So that's really easy. So you'll see the reason that we cast on in multiples of 12 is because the 3-3R uses 6 stitches, and then we finish up with 6 stitches, and we're going to continue this multiple of 12 to the end of the row. Let's do it one more time. That way you do not have to rewind this video. You can watch it again and get it firmly in your head. So we are beginning by slipping 3 stitches onto our cable needle. And from there, we're going to hold it to the back of our work. we're knitting 3 stitches from our main needle. So 1, 2, 3 from the main needle, and then taking the cable needle, place it where it's easy for you to knit from, and knit 3 stitches from the cable needle. Continue this pattern, the 3-3-R, and knitting 6 stitches until you reach the end of your row. And here is the beginning, the first 5 rows of our 10-row repeat here. Now rows 6, 7, 8, and 9 are equally as easy as those first 4 rows. We're continuing the stockinette stitch. Now this time we're beginning on the wrong side of our work since we just completed our cabling on the right side. And the wrong side is purling. And then row 7 is the right side, and we're knitting all stitches. Going to the back, the wrong side of our work, we'll be purling all stitches. And lastly, row 9, we are on the right side of our work, so we are knitting all stitches. We are continuing this beautiful, smooth stockinette stitch. And here on row 10, we're finishing it up. For those of you experienced with cabling, cabling on the wrong side of the work is pretty unique. So we have a 3-3-L, that's a left crossing, but we're doing it on the wrong side of the work. So we're switching up the 3-3-L a little bit because we're on the wrong side of our work. We're slipping 3 stitches onto our cable needle and holding it to the front. Then we are going to purl 3 stitches from our main needle. Again, purling, you always want to make sure that you have that yarn in the front of the needle that you're working from. And slowly take your time, purl those first 3 stitches from your main needle. And then we're going to be purling 3 stitches from the cable needle. Again, it's this pink tipped needle that we have that I'm using as my cable needle. And we're scooching those stitches around. Again, the yarn is in the front right here. And we'll purl 3 stitches from our cable needle. 1, 2, and 3. Lastly, for this 12 stitch multiple, we're purling 6 stitches. So the 3-3-L are 6 stitches, purling 3 stitches. That completes our multiple of 12 stitches. And we are going to repeat this pattern between the asterisks until we reach the end of our row. Let's flip it around here so we can see our progress and see how those cable stitches have twisted the yarn. So let's do it one more time together. We're slipping 3 stitches to our cable needle and we're holding it to the front of our work. We're going to take our main needle and first purl 3 stitches from it, and then finish up purling 3 stitches from your cable needle. Once you've completed this row, continue knitting rows 1 through 10 until your piece is the length you desire. I really appreciate the subtle texture of the front, the right side of our work here. I have lots of ideas. I think a blanket would be so gorgeous in this pattern. And again, here is the wrong side of our work. You'll see that we see all those purl bumps on the wrong side. So this is not a reversible pattern. Now, for those of you who enjoy knitting in the round, I want to quickly share one little difference. We're knitting stockinette stitch rows 1, 2, 3, and 4, and rows 6, 7, 8, and 9. Of course, when we're knitting stockinette in the round, we are knitting all stitches. Row 5, the cabling is totally identical. The only difference, which is what I want to share with you here, is row 10. On row 10, we begin by knitting 6 stitches in the 12 stitch repeat. And we have a 3-3L, but we are working on the right side of our work here when we're knitting in the round. So we're slipping 3 stitches to our cable needle, 3 stitches knitting from the main needle, and 3 stitches knitting from the cable needle. Of course, that is because we're knitting in the round. We are always on the right side of our work, so there's no purling involved when we are going to knit on circular needles or double pointed needles. And I think this would be a really cool hat pattern. It could also be a gorgeous sleeve on a sweater. If you'd like to give this project a try, I think a scarf would be really easy. You could get really creative with your yarn choice, the width and the length that you'd like to make it. And I just want to share with you this yarn that I've been knitting with. It's from Jupiter Moon Farm, and the yarn is called Moonshine. I'll have all the information in the description for you. And I hope you are inspired to give this sand cable knit stitch a try. For even more cable knitting inspiration, check this next video. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's been very popular lately, and I will see you there.